Okay, as promised, here are some hints about how to get your chasing game working. We talked about the chasing game in the last video. Let's take a look inside this one and look at some of the scripts we're using. As we said before, the key for the cat script is to have a different event for each arrow key. So right arrow key, left arrow key, up arrow key, and down arrow key. For each one we put in the proper direction and we move 15 steps. Very simple. There you go. One thing you'll notice is that when the cat moves backwards, he sometimes goes upside down. Some people don't like that. Maybe that's too weird for them. There's a way you can change that. You'll notice mine never goes upside down. To change that, select your sprite and hit the little I button over the sprite. This allows you to do things like change the sprite's name and set the rotation style. There's 3 rotation styles. All rotate. That means it can go in all directions, including upside down. Let's see what that looks like here. I can turn any direction, or I can do side-to-side rotate only. That way it never goes upside down. And you can select the No Change button, so it always goes in the same direction. I choose the middle one for this, and I like that, so that's one hint there. Another problem people may have with this game is their sprite will get stuck in the corner somewhere. And they'll say, I can't see my sprite, where did that go? Here's a trick to get that sprite back. Grab the go-to command here and just put in 0 for X and Y and double-click it. Your sprite will pop right back into the middle. It's always stuck on the edge somewhere, and so now you can see it again. To make this game a little more interesting, I'm using the broadcast command to make it start and stop when I want it to. It's this really cool command I'm going to show you right here. What's even more interesting is that I've got a splash screen here, and my splash screen sends a little message that shows up at the beginning of the game, and it stays for a few seconds. And that's old school classic arcade stuff right there, definitely, but it's really fun. And then your game will start. So when I click my green flag, my splash screen shows up for 1 second, and then the game starts. I'm using this command here called broadcast. It allows my game to start all at once, so after the splash page is done, it broadcasts the message start, and that's an internal message that will go to all the sprites, and they do something. Create those messages under events. I can broadcast a message, and I can also receive a message, and you can make whatever message you want. Just go here to New Message and type what your message is. Now, if you look at my cat, when he gets the start command, he switches costumes. Make sure he's on the right costume, and then he goes to his starting location. But what about the beetle? With the beetle, it also has a message that says, receive this start command, and when it's going to start the game, it goes to its starting position. It says a little message, here I come. The say command is located under looks, so you can say things. I like say for 2 seconds because then it disappears, and then it does this forever loop like we talked about before, where you point toward the sprite, then you move toward it. I change move to 2 steps to give the cat a chance, and then we have our check to see if it's caught. We do this inside the forever loop, and it says if touching sprite 1 then, and everything that happens in here is only going to happen if they're touching. So it's going to broadcast a message saying caught, and then it says I got you, and then it will change. I create a variable called times caught so it can count how many times the cat gets caught. So it's broadcasting the caught message, and you can see what happens to the cat when it gets the message. It says switch to the sad face costume and say rats for 2 seconds. Then it broadcasts start, so the game can start all over again. So that allows you to keep playing, and you can see how many times you've been caught. Okay, so that's a couple of hints. Other things you might think about doing, you can create backgrounds, you can do different kinds of costumes, you could have the cat look like it's running. One way you can do that is to put a next costume command under each arrow key. When you move around with the arrow keys, you notice that the legs are moving so it looks like it's running. It's a small little touch, but it's kind of cool. Okay. Otherwise, you could put in some sound effects. You've got all kinds of sound options you can explore on your own. You can also create your own sounds. The sound tab is up here. There's a big library of sound effects, and you can record your own if you have a built-in microphone or access to a microphone. Really looking forward to see what everybody does with that. That's something that's really fun. Okay, so those are a couple of things you can do for your game. A couple of hints there. We can't wait to see what you've done, and we'll see you on the web. Good luck, have fun.